Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So do you remember I think it may have been Dumbo the elephant, the old movie, but it may have been something else. But it was the one where you've got them lined up and they're marching in a parade and they sing, I love a parade, or something similar to that. Now, I was thinking about that this morning, because in my quiet time, I was reading again from 2 Corinthians, and I'd gotten to chapter 2, verse 14. And in that, Paul talks about being in a parade. He says, thanks be to God. First of all, you can't go wrong with that. And it's interesting in the context of this, because Paul's been talking about the hurt that he's had at the hands of the Corinthians. He made what's called a painful visit to them. He was hurt. They were hurt. He's writing to them to try to mend some fences, in a sense, and set aright that which was wrong. And in the midst of this, all of a sudden, he lapses into this praise to God. And he says, but thanks be to God, who in Christ always leads us in triumphal procession, and through us spreads the fragrance of the knowledge of him everywhere. Now, I really, really like this. Let me tell you why. It's one thing to be in a parade, and I've never technically been in a parade, but my wife had some friends for one of her birthdays design a birthday float, and I got to drive my wife and her friends in a small town parade north of Houston one time, and that's the closest I've come. But that was just a fun parade. Most of our parades these days are fun parades. We'll had a Thanksgiving Day parade, there'll be a New Year's parade, Christmas parade. They're 4th of July parades, they're fun parades. But back in the time of Paul, they would also have triumphal parades or processions. A triumphal parade would be when someone had won a victory, like a battle or a war. The troops come home and they march in victory down Main Street, that type of thing. And Paul says that it's God, thanks be to God, who in Christ leads us in this triumphal parade, meaning we are victors, we are conquerors, we are on the winning side in a way that should display to the world the victory of God. Now, what is it about this triumphal parade? First of all, it is in Christ. We don't win in this world because of our strength. We don't find victory over pain, victory over difficulty, victory over anything out of ourselves. That is a gift of God that comes to us in Christ. And so Paul makes that point abundantly clear, but he also makes clear that it's not for simply our self-aggrandizement, and it's not simply so that we feel better. This triumph that we have in Christ that puts us in the parade route, this triumph is to spread the aroma of God. It's to spread the aroma of the knowledge of him everywhere. So where does this leave me today? Well, I don't know what you're going through. It may be a day of victory for you. It may be a day of pain and difficulty. Either way, we have the assurance that God will lead us in a parade, a triumphal procession of victory in Christ, to the purpose of spreading his knowledge everywhere. So I want to walk in Christ today. I want to trust in God today. And I want to make sure the world knows that it is God who brings the victory in Christ. And that way I'll spread the knowledge of him, be that aroma. That's your video thought for the day. More comes from my quiet time tomorrow. But in the meanwhile, may God bless you in a triumphal procession.